Hello everybody! Today we are going to talk about variables in the C++ language. Let's note that in comments / and now variables. Okay. Let's start this topic not from what is variable, but why do we need variables. For example, I want to send something to the console output. Let's write cout 2 angle brackets 4 semicolons. So it means that I want to send a number 4 to the console output. But hey, what if I wanted to store this number somewhere? Because I would like to make some operations on that number or even change it a bit. Look, right now we have the number 4 here, right? And after that instruction is invoked, we can't do anything with that number anymore. So we can't do anything here with that number here. So this number disappears. We don't have any reference to that number. That's why we need variables. Variable, as the name suggests, is something that is able to vary. So it means that it is changeable. It can be changed anytime you want. So variables are some kind of containers that can store values like numbers. Imagine that these bins, containers here, are our variables. Each of them has different label name, right? A, B, and C. As you can see, each of that container is also a bit different. They have different shapes. It means that containers, variables, can store different values, different type of values. Now we have discovered a new thing, the type of variable. The type describes what can we put into our containers variables. Okay. Let's create variable in our program. Let's name it A. We have got only label now, name of our container variable. We have to also describe what can we put into our container variable. So we have to declare the type of variable. Let's start from the int, which stands for integer. Integer are numbers that have no fractional part and they can be negative. So now we can assign to our variable only integer. By assign, I'm meaning putting something into that variable, right? But let's stop for a second and think about memory in our PC. Is it unlimited? No. It is limited by our hardware because we can only assign subset of integer numbers. In our situation, we are allowed to assign to our variable named A numbers that range from -2 billions to about +2 billions. Let's do that. A equals, for example, 4. The equal sign allows us to assign values to our variables. The process of assigning value to variable is called initialization. Okay. I can do that process of assigning also in one line. I could write something like that. I will comment that thing here. Okay. But let's assume I want to assign variable to variable A something like, for example, I can't do it because this value is greater than 2 billions, okay? And it's really good idea that we can do it, because we would take too much memory in our PC. We don't need that number for all the situations, right? Okay. Now I will say something very important. When you look at any book, what is the easiest way to find something inside? If I give you, for example, one section of book, or even only one word, and I will tell you to find this section inside a book that has 1000 pages, I'm sure it will take you a very long time to complete the task, right? What about the same situation, but now I'm giving you the number of page? You will find it probably almost instantly, right? In programming world, that situation is almost the same. The section word in our program is called label or name of variable, right? The page number is called address. Address. Okay. So by using variable address, we can get to values faster. But this is a bit advanced topic, and it is connected with pointers. We'll explain it later very precisely. But now I want you to know how to get address of variable. In order to do it, we have to write something like ampersand. It's ampersand. And let's do it in another line. Ampersand, and now the name of variable. Okay. Let's send that things to the console output. Let's do something like that now. Cout and cout ampersand a. Now let's build it. And as we can see, we have everything in one line. So we will add here something like and all. L stands here for line, so that thing here is indicating the end of line, and it's adding the enter at the end, right? So now when I build it, as you can see, we have in 2 lines 4. In the first line there is 4, right? And in the second line we have the address of that 4. So we have the address of the variable. When we write something like a, we are declaring variable. Declaring means that we are informing compiler that there will be somewhere in our program something named in our situation a. When we write something like int a, in the C++ language, we are also defining variable. Defining means declaring, and in addition to this, we are also reserving, allocating space in memory. In our situation, we are allocating space for the variable that is integer, right? Int allocates 4 bytes of memory. 1 byte is 8 bits. So we are allocating 32 of bits in PCs and memory. Bits are zeros or one signs. So we are allocating in one sequence somewhere in our memory 32 places that can be filled with 0 or 1s. As I said in the first lesson, that sequence of 0 and 1s can be translated to our language, or our language can be translated to that sequence, right? And as I said earlier, variable values can be changed anytime. In the second lesson, I was talking a lot about that compiler is reading everything from the top to the bottom, right? So if I write something like that, and I will copy that thing, what will our compiler do now? Let's start from the beginning, because our compiler is doing it that way. So our compiler is including the IOStream library. It will use the std namespace, and then it will invoke the main function. In that line, int a equals 4, our compiler will be informed about existence of variable named a. It will also allocate somewhere 4 bytes of memory, and because of initialization, that equal sign, right? It will change sequence of 0 and 1s to represent number 4 in our PC language, right? After compiler will print to the console output value and address of our variable here. Here, a equals 10, our compiler will change value of variable named a. So it will change a bit that sequence of 0 and 1s. But it won't change the address of variable, of course, right? And let's compile it. As we can see, the number has changed, but the address is still the same. Okay, let's study how we should name variables now. Let's do it in comment. And the first thing is that we can't have two variables that have the same name. Variables can't have the same name. So if I want to declare two variables, I have to have different names, right? That way we can run our program, but we can do something like that. Error. Redeclaration of int a, right? We can do something like that. We can start the name of variable from the number, but we can use numbers in other places. So variables can't start from the number. Let's check it out. I'll try to create int, and now I'll do something like, for example, that, right? I'm trying to build it, and I can't do it. But I can do it that way. Easy. Okay. We can't use spaces, but we can use underscores. So, we can't use spaces. I can do something like int, and now I will do something like prime number. I can do something like that. Okay. But we can use, of course, the underscores, so I can do it that way. Prime number. That's all right. We can execute our program. When we declare variables, we should try to make them self-descriptive. Self-descriptive means that we should be able to guess by looking at the name of variable what is that variable created for. For example, we can write int prime number, right? Or maybe I can do it even that way. Int prime number. I can do it prime nr. And I can do it also that way. I prime number. The I prefix here, let us guess by just looking at the name that the type of variables is integer, right? Because I int, right? And this notation, that one here, is called, I will tab it, Hungarian notation. You can type it in Google and you can read about other types. Okay, so let's know that our variables should be self-descriptive. And we can't use special characters, keywords. Let's see what we can do. For example, I can do something like int using, right? Because it's the keyword. I can do that way. It's not working. I can't use the special character like hash. It's not working. Okay. So let's know that variables can't have special characters, keywords. Can be constructed, maybe constructed of special characters, keywords. Okay. And variables should be nouns. They shouldn't be adjectives or other things like that. They should be just nouns. Okay. Okay, that's all. In the next lesson we'll discover more types of variables, and thank you for everyone.